The Enlightenment ideas of equality, natural rights, protection of rights, rule of the people, and abolishing abusive governments influenced the writing of the Declaration of Independence. These ideas can be found throughout the Declaration and still serve as the foundation for democracy in the United States and throughout the world. The phrase, all men are created equal, demonstrates Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence and the Founding Fathers' idea of the Enlightenment idea of equality. This phrase simply means that in the eyes of the law, that all men should be treated equally. This includes their rights and the actions the government can take towards them. The interpretation of this phrase has evolved from including white men to including all people in the United States. Every person in the United States is to be treated equal in the eyes of the government. Gender, race, or economic standing does not entitle someone to more rights than the other in the eyes of the law. The phrase, all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain inalienable rights, shows the inclusion of the Enlightenment idea of natural rights. Natural rights were an idea introduced that the right to life, liberty, and property exist in nature. This idea states that individuals are born with these rights. These rights are identified as inalienable rights in the Declaration of Independence. They are listed as the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jefferson states that these are given to people by their Creator, or God. This means that only God can take these away, not the government. The phrase, to secure these rights, and another phrase, laying its foundation on these principles, found in the Declaration of Independence, shows the inclusion of the Enlightenment idea that the purpose of government is to protect rights. Jefferson argues, along with the Enlightenment thinkers, that the job of a government is to protect the people's rights. He argues that Britain is not protecting these rights, and therefore the colonists are justified in rebelling. They are justified in creating a new government that will protect these rights. The phrase, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, shows the inclusion of the Enlightenment idea that governments are made up of the rule of the people. Jefferson and the Enlightenment thinkers argue that governments should be democracies. People should vote on issues, laws, and/or the people who make those laws. One of the biggest complaints of the American Revolution was that Parliament was passing laws affecting the colonists without their approval. The colonists did not have representation in Parliament. They used this as one of the fundamental arguments for freedom. The idea is that a government that is elected will be more responsive to the desires of the people. They will protect the rights of the people. The phrase that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute a new government, shows the inclusion of the Enlightenment idea that abusive governments that don't protect rights and are abusive should be abolished, removed, or changed so they do. Jefferson and the Enlightenment thinkers argued that governments that are not protecting rights are not doing their job. They explained that it is the right of the people to get rid of that government. That is what the colonists were doing with the Declaration of Independence. They believed that Parliament and King George III were abusing their power. They used this as justification for creating a new government. They replaced Britain with a government that would attempt to protect their basic, inalienable rights.